Hello, my name is Miss Padilla, and today I'm going to do my presentation on the Odyssey Book 12. Well, Odysseus has left the Cyclops, and he has had a couple of other adventures, but what's next is of import is when he meets Lady Circe. And Lady Circe is an enchantress, and she is able to keep Odysseus for some years because she turns his men into pigs, as you can see. And this is a challenge because they can't sail with a bunch of pigs. She is a sorceress and is represents the trickiness of women, which is a legacy that I feel we continue to live with today. And although Odysseus doesn't want to stay, he is so lured by her that it does take him some time. When she finally decides to let them loose, Circe is warning him about a very dangerous part of the passage for him and his crewmen, which I find interesting because so far Odysseus has been on the sea for some time and he's been successful, but now he needs this help, which does show some humility, perhaps. So, what she warns him about is the sirens. And the sirens are an interesting phenomena that happen to men when they're out at sea, which would have been normal for Greeks who live on the Mediterranean and are dependent on the sea. But it is a phenomena that I have myself experienced that you kind of just get lured away. And you, like when I see you staring out the window in class, and now you're gone. But that is an interesting phenomena that is recorded in this story that I find interesting. And in order to avoid that, because the sirens will sing their song, she warns the men to put beeswax in their ears and to be able to circumvent that. And Odysseus, because he's such a stud, does not want to put earwax in his ears. I guess that's kind of like the people who don't want to wear face masks because it infringes on your masculinity. But I don't know what he's actually doing there because the men are steering the ship and rowing. He's just kind of looking at them. But he does get, they do get away, and the sirens are represented in many different ways, largely as birds so that they can come and sing, but they're often shown as mermaids, another way to visualize them. He does make it out of there, and he's got to make it through Turbidus, which is the whirlpool. And Turbidus is represented in many horrific ways in illustration, but basically it is a whirlpool, which is a phenomena that men at sea would have to combat, and that's what she's warning them of. There's also Scylla, which are the rock cliffs, but she is represented as a woman. These characters usually are, because the women are dangerous to men. Um, but it's a six-headed monster that if you pass Scylla, you're likely to lose six men who will be eaten up by this monster. But really, Scylla is a rock cliff. And a rock cliff, if a ship were to go against it, might bang and lose men. And what needs to happen here is that the men have to navigate between these two dangers. And that is a reality. And I believe the moral of our story is that we're always navigating between dangers and we're navigating between choices, we're navigating between many things and trying to find our balance. I believe we're navigating a lot today in this phenomena that we're in. But basically, that's the story that shows us the way the powers of Earth kind of infringe on our life experience. And what I and that's the story of book 9, and I will show you go on to book 21 and 23. Thank you. What I really want you to notice though is how these are pictures because visuals are meant to help you visualize. And I want you to think about that when you're doing your speech that we need to see what you're talking about. Otherwise, we won't get it. We don't need words because you will be speaking the words and explaining what we're seeing. So think about that as you work on your presentations and presenting them. And you're probably going to have to do a few of these videos because, as you can see, I've done a few and it's still not great. Thank you. Bye.